20 years ago. I invented colored pencils when I was about 4. I've done nothing else relevant to this community or the council as a whole. We have an amazing open mic for you. It is full, 15 spots. I'm very, very excited to have all these wonderful local people share some wise words with you. As a quick reminder, we ask that everyone takes 5 minutes, no less, no more. You can take less. You don't have to just for the rest of the time that you're here. But no more than that, just so that everybody has equal opportunity to go and share their work this evening. So just keep that time limit in mind. And with that, we will get started. Are you ready to start your open mic? All right, we are a small but mighty crowd. I love it. Please keep that energy going up for Jason.
Hi. No, my hands are greasy. I had French fries. So we're just going to leave that down there. I have had the worst writer's block for about 6 weeks because my life has been rapidly changing. Anyway, this is an old one. It's called A Poem for Summer 2015. In the handle of the Big Dipper is a twin star, with one sibling so faint, young boys in ancient villages could only join the hunt if they could see. Only then could they be trusted to slot their arrows cleanly through the heaving, frantic ribcage of the exhausted, fearful deer. You ask me what I'm thinking about. Seated on the low stone wall of your parents' garden. And instead of saying all that, I lie and stare past you where Alcor and Mizar should be if the streetlights weren't on. For at least 100 years, we've known their kinship is just as white a lie. 500 trillion impossible miles apart, but lined up and aimed at us. Galactic iron sights. And I can't help but wonder if you and I look so close from their perspective, if the stars could possibly know how far apart we really are, if Alcor and Mizar could slot an arrow in my heaving, fearful breast, in my exhausted, frantic chest. But you're done talking, and the streetlights will still be on for hours. So there's nothing left for me to do but put up my kickstand and cycle on back to my side of the galaxy, the wind too cold and too quick for proper tears.
Always starting off strong. Yeah, I hear you on this changing of seasons. I feel like everybody's going through it right now, so we appreciate you coming out and sharing your work with us. And community, man, is so important, especially during these times, so always good to have you here. Please welcome up your next reader, Boyana.
I'm another reader. It looks like with the writing block these days. I finally started writing, this year, finally started writing last month. Yay. But this is an old poem that I translated to English. It's 30-year-old, if not more. I had become a keeper at the gates of night. Like my soul belongs to the illnesses of the dark, keeping everything to be reward of mine, once transformed to touch, to heaven soars through sight, an event of heart, indulgence, and delight. I, who do not know by heart to say 10 commandments of God, created as a sacrifice to time, between two mercies of the sun ray transforms, on the moment when consciousness of the day transforms, I pray. From the lips I had teared up words that do not exist, those whose meaning to delusion bears the name. And although I have not abandoned every thought, I despise power and meaning of any word a mouth could proclaim. Those abandoned spaces will have much more to tell, and those unwritten words carved into the gates of night, the underground of which I am a keeper tight. I, keeper of the spaces where to step in only shadow dares, where unspoken thought in itself persists, and like sound in harmony, silence exists. I'm standing at World Tri-Point Crossing, where ideas and dreams of ancient history and distant future are from us hidden, where holding an idea prisoner is forbidden, where I'm being born once, 2 times, 3 times, 100 times. I'm earth dust in the womb of earth created, infinite number of times spreading from earth breath separated. Dust I shall call myself as dust I exist, even though into a delusional obstacle a carved thought I am, lie for fear and victory, and sidetrack of concrecy I strongly resist. Through dust I will spread down the riverbeds, even though I do not know the wave that I sail. Soft foam strings to spread me mail, and provide the strength to indent prevail. By wind I shall spread, by drops of all rains that can fit in iris of one eye I shall fly. In the middle of heaven I shall stand, the thought to become universe in whole to defend, and through the thought then to invisible descend. I, who do not know to say by heart the 10 commandments of God, stumbling through the roads of consciousness from the time of sunrise in the day of light, to the thoughts that were screams of stars in the night, seeking group of words, power to dismiss. Hidden at my back behind, through fingers I feel the dust I am and the dust I have become. A thought wildly spread in words, I condense to bliss. No one knows the secret to miniature world, that to miniature world steps conceal. We only feel it burning, in bloodstream fighting, within us invisible spaces turning. And only when new world on lips is born, we know to thought it will transform. I had become a keeper at the gates of night. To open them only thought has right.
New poems and old poems always welcome, doesn't matter when you bring them. If you read them at any event this year, you could get it published. Doesn't matter when you wrote it. If you read it this year, you could get it published. Because we do this super cool thing called the Out Loud Huntsville Anthology. Maybe you've heard of it. We've done it for like 6 years in a row, 7 years in a row. I don't know. It's been a long time. I'm old. I just dated myself. Those are a lot of books. You can get your stuff published. Anything that you write at any event is eligible. Everyone who submits will get published at least one piece in the anthology. Submissions will open in November, so after our third Sunday in November event, and they'll be open for a month. So keep an eye out for that all over our social media. We'll have more details. And you will be a legit, real deal published poet or writer. You can, put that on a resume. It's got a barcode, it's got a spine, it's a real book, it's legit. It's a pretty cool opportunity. So keep an eye out for more information on that as we get closer to the submissions opening up. Please open up your next reader, Anna.
It's new to you guys, so new old content. I wrote this poem, I think in May, it was earlier this year, and it's honestly not that great, but it also happens to have possibly one of the best opening lines I've ever written. So I'm gonna share it with you guys tonight, if that's alright. It goes, "Everyone at this house party thinks you are full of shit. I always knew you were the strange type, but so am I. It's why we work. Tonight, as I am airing my grievances, I am chugging my third beer. I don't even like beer. You know that, I know that. That's how full of shit you are. I am, trying to fix myself for you, but really, I know I was never broken. Tell me, what have you done for me, other than cause anguish, turmoil, and feelings of self-doubt? I cannot believe I let you do this to me. There are none who know me like I know myself, and I know the ultimate self-fix is to never see you again. But since I'm stupid, like you, and I hate myself, I guess I'll keep you around for now, because we work. God damn it, we work. You do not work. And this is another older one. I wrote this in August. I wanted to read it at our last night in August, but I ran out of time because I was too busy threatening violence. Here we go. Look at me and know there is a loving, vengeful God. Those same hands that struck down empires were the same. I totally fucked that up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You got
I was
it.
so strong. And
You got
I'm
it.
Okay. Look at me and know there is a loving, vengeful God. The same hands that struck down empires wove these golden strands atop my head. And the winds that blow away entire cities breathed life into me. Just as guile drove in the tent's peg, so I will penetrate your soul. I am wisdom crying in the streets, and I am Cassandra begging to be heard. Oh, will you hear me? Will you listen? For the angels tell me their names, and the words I speak unto you are holy. Let me reveal to you the things that are hidden. I am the so below, the decrees of heaven are evident within me. Through me is the way to worlds esoteric. Through me is the way to eternal life. I will scream my heart from the highest points, and it will reverberate long after you are gone. Thank you.
Lovely work. I'm going to just start every event with, everyone at this poetry show thinks you're full of shit. Eye-opening line, I'm stealing it. You know, imitation is the highest form of flattery. It's a great line, you know. Good stuff. I'm also a big fan of this like fall fit situation we've got going on. Like we've got some good sweater weather going on. I love it. It's good. Good stuff. All right, keep your energy going for our next reader. Max.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I also like make music and stuff too. So if y'all want to get a keychain, there's like a QR code on it. Scan it, and all that.
It's a
shit.
bottle opener, guys. You
Yeah,
want one?
yeah, might as well. Let me open up my notepad real quick. I'm sorry, I was looking at the pitch the whole time. It's all right. I'll perform one of them from one of my releases I got. So, the sound of the chimes always puts me at ease and gives me a reason to believe that the breeze would always be there. The sound they make is so beautiful. From time to time, they fuel my dreams, but stay dormant in my nightmares. To be honest, I wish that sound would just die or disappear there, so I can live without despair of the potential of losing them one day. Alluring as this spell, where it ends up only time will tell. About the secrets behind the curtain that was for certain attached to the mast that also uses the breeze to move the ship that was built by many hands that look at the breeze as a means to go places. It's true, but hard to tell if it really gets appreciated as it should. The captain of the ship can't always control the way the life of the ship goes. Wake up, back to reality. I feel a gust of wind ever so lightly touch my knee. I look up to see the chimes talking to me, knowing that sound always comes around when I least expect it to.
Get yourself a keychain after this, people. Free goods. And you're supporting, you know, local writers and creators. That is the cool thing about this community. Someone's always doing something interesting. So if you know, hear some work that you like from someone that you haven't maybe talked to before, go up and see what they're doing. See if they've got a book. See if maybe they're in an anthology. Or 6 or 7. I don't know. Maybe I'm in all of them. I think Jared and I are in all of them. You know, so you can support us. Awesome. Keep that energy going for your next reader, Brad.
Am I this tall?
Oh, close.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I am pretty good.
All right. This one is called The Store. On the way to the lake is an abandoned gas station. I still remember when I was a kid, and bold letters proudly proclaimed its name, The Store. Not unique, you say? Except it was when you think about it. The name changed half a dozen times in the couple dozen years since. Now it sits both empty and nameless, as I think it has a few times before. I want to accept the side quest and click a button and run the store for an hour like some Japanese role-playing game. Take a break from saving the world and sell herbs and antidotes to the townspeople. So what happened? Was this the owner's world to save, or a forgotten side quest? Is this game over, or will someone put another quarter in? Bought, sold, used, and abandoned? Maybe it just wanted a break from it all. Will it get new owners, a fresh coat of paint, a new name? Or will nature reclaim this borrowed land? Either way, it's progress. Either way, a return to glory. Thank you. This one's called Calluses on the Keys. There's a song I started writing back when David would find me in the practice rooms afterwards, already knowing it was that bad because the doors weren't quite angst-proof. Brace yourself before you turn that knob. Minor keys for major problems, he would say, forced smirk in his voice, because he knew when not to stay. The trouble when I stop playing is that I feel my hands again, and memories leak through the sealed door. Today, the silence is 20 years louder, because I can't find a practice room to contain my mistakes or screams. There's a song I started writing. With numb chords and loud hands, I'll finish when feeling returns to my major keys and never play it again. All right, this is my last one. This one is called Pre-Release Live Blog. Welcome, viewers, new and old, to my pre-release live blog. What is poetry but a catharsis live stream? Smash that like button, ring that bell. She did 13 years ago. And now that I've tried to unsubscribe, the bell tolls for me. I meet with lawyers in the morning. Mediation preparation. Yes, tomorrow. Then, Tuesday, 5 months too late, is our last chance to resolve things as amicably as we cohabitated, as uncontested as our home decor, as collaboratively as we feed our children. But I've never dried the tears of opposing counsel. I don't know their favorite shows that I'd rather not watch with them. Is a few years of therapy enough to overcome a lifetime of cowardice? Because I'm learning. Submission isn't synergy. Capitulation isn't compromise. Codependency isn't companionship. I'm still learning. Still a work in progress. But this, my life, my last rodeo, is just getting started. Kids don't even know that their parents aren't grown up yet. My kids don't even know the word custody yet. I just want to know how Tuesday will go. I want to feel something, but I'm too afraid to not be numb. What's your favorite coping mechanism? Tell us all below down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time that I will need to overshare my unresolved emotions. Bye!
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your work, Brad. That was so good. Breakup season has been brutal for so many people. That is a very good poem. Yeah, it's in the air. I don't know if there's been a lot of people going through it right now. It's not fun. It's hard out here, I tell you. We are a third of the way through your open mic, so we still got quite a bit of good stuff to get through, but this is as good a time as any to say, if you are enjoying yourself and you are enjoying the straight to ale energy and atmosphere, then please go get yourself a beverage or some food from your amazing bartender over there, and definitely tip your bartender. Woo! Yeah. 10 minutes, people. It's time to get you a big ass pretzel or whatever else you might want to get from the kitchen. But then, once the kitchen's closed and that's out of the way, Still alcohol. That's always there for you. What's your favorite coping mechanism? Let's see. The demo ticker bartender, we love Trick, and we're so happy that they allow us to have this space, so we want to, give back to them wherever we can, so absolutely do that where we can. And welcome up your next reader, Zah.
I'm very high. It's nice to see some faces. I almost cried while thinking about how I was going to perform this, so we'll see how it goes. It's called nanobots. Hope I'm not too loud.
You're doing great.
Starting out, I goofed around and played with thick paints. I created tons of ridges, lines, and crevices. I mixed the most colors and cleaned up real big messes. The shock was loud, the silent world that was my home, now grown, a throat and spit fire into my lower half. Walking around, melting reality. Walking around, melting reality. Laughing at the part of me that believes it hardly knows me. A king in his own right, no brain to talker. Halted by a pack of wolves and asked to lead them. Yo, I'm telling stories while watching fruit flies, freeform aerial stunts at my feet, and below my feet, I'm falling to the floor. And oh no, I guess I broke it again, so flick, and the lights are back on. I wake up eating muffins. Muffins. Feeding poor kids goulash, trying to start a riot in the gulag. Maybe I'll rap like an insulated kulak, keeping things cold but not for too long. A gravekeeper sent me 2 fingers. Hope you didn't lose them, dude. Playing beats on the beat pad, wearing juicy pneumonias, full drag makeup on, just in space, getting my followers to chase that dream that kept them awake. A notion in the back of mind that he knew he was kept safe, changing by any means, inseparable from everything, polymorphic. I found it, walking among snake-covered floors, the walls that screech. It was more of a wail, but it didn't bother or concern my heads at the beach, sand in between their toes. I'm sitting on a hill, fire coming over the mountain. Floor is lava, bent about a bitch, holes in my head, wallowing in thunderous grief. It's all at the feet, and I'm holding your hand, and we're just crying, but not about death. Celebrating life. Mixed emotions with nanobots. Call me empathetic if you want to. I just do it because I like it. I'm not yet all I can be, but then again, who is? I fall to my knees when the ancestors call on me. Quite the opposite. You know I'm always good. Thank you.
You got it.
Quite the opposite. You know I'm always ready for attack. Heady monster. Dragon scale shields. I'm all for the strategy. Wholesome and counter. I spend 5 hours writing out my disbeliefs to counter them. And that is to say I'm slightly expanding. Outward, that is. Hoodie strings all chewed and shit. Dogging me, I guess. I let him out on occasion. Fed him with experience and adrenaline. Riding bikes when it ends. I just take it. Spread the edges. So when it bends, it really bends. No need for the fire, Mom. I hold out and then let it in. I'm all for the win, no matter what it is. Simple distractions, but though it's all dust and light, perception seeks to capture, or does it seek it all? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
One more time. That was incredible. Please keep on coming back. We do this the third Sunday of every month, right here in this very room, and we'd love to have you join us again. The poem was incredible, but 2 sentences I have never said together were, I am so high and it is good to see so many faces. Those are very separate ends of the spectrum for me, personally. I only want to see Doritos. Specifically Cool Ranch, obviously. Please welcome up your next reader, Lauren.
Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful night.
Hi.
This poem is called Laughter. We hold our stomachs and let our shoulders shake. Laughing at the jokes you tell, like how you were always there for us, how you were always there for us, how you loved us and cared for us, punctuating your sentences with expletives. There is no room for you here. We have taken our hearts and closed them to you. Where there once was space is now filled to overflowing with the shadows of unfulfilled promises every disappointment a spear through our once naive little hearts. We lace our fingers together, a fortress protecting us from the man in sheep's clothes, wearing the skin of a father, speaking in the language of love, all the while throwing arrows at us. You walk towards us, but we will not run this time. We will face you in your open arms, smiles stretched across our pink lips. The rocks you fed us when we asked for food, not so soon. Forgotten. Where was your love this time last year, when the leaves dropped from the trees, turning from vibrant reds and greens into a dull brown? Where was your love when we skinned our knees and stubbed our toes, when we cried over first loves and wrote poems about hope? So yes, we will laugh when you profess your love. We will let our heads roll back and tears slide down our cheeks, laughing at the possibility that you've changed. That all the years spent in the kitchen throwing words like knives at each other, the bloodbaths, were worth it. That you love us now, that everything will be okay. No, we will not accept your love. We will continue to laugh as we live without you.
Amen.
Have you heard this song before? No. One more time. I may have missed a few months, but I still got a catalog of people in this brain. Hey, we're about halfway through this open mic. Seems like a fantastic time to say that if you've already got your beer and you've already got your food and you're like, I have so much extra money, I would love to get rid of it because, like, oh my God, capitalism in this economy, right? We have a donation bucket over here if you want to support Outlaw Huntsville. We are a nonprofit, which means we don't have any money. I mean, honestly, who does these days? But you can give us some money to support us having events like this and being able to utilize this space and that sort of thing. Printing the anthology, all of that wonderful stuff. There's a donation bucket right there. And also there's a website right behind me where you can go to donate digitally because maybe you're not bored and needy and have cash on you like some of us. Please welcome up your next reader, Marshall.
So many people want to be understood, but I want to misunderstand you. Because it seems like our misunderstanding is the fertile ground for our greatest understanding. See, I want to misunderstand you, so I have to listen to you twice. So I have to sit and allow those thoughts to stew. So I have to sit and think about the deepest parts of you. See, I want you to misunderstand me, so that you have to listen to my words twice, so that you have to think about it again, so that you have to sleep on my words. See, we can passively aggressively not talk to each other, or we can argue, trying to remove the miss from the understanding so that we can have deeper intimacy. That's the first piece.
Yeah.
What gives us the right to hoard our hearts to ourselves so no one else feels any pain? Skeletons in the closet, skeletons in the closet. The skeletons in our closets are funny because we try to hide the very things that lift us up and give us shape. See, it's funny how we place our inside, thinking that they're actually someplace safe. When in fact we give away the combination in each and every movement, like the way we walk, click. The way we talk, click. The way we love, click, open. Revealing what the gold bars used to be, because the alchemist called fear turned it into wood, nailing our experiences to our self-worth. Stoning is our connection that our pain is a game beyond all the jokes, forgetting the fact that we're not the only ones that deal with guilt and shame or whipped by guilt. No, Nothing gives us the right to hold our hearts to ourselves because our very walk and our very talk reveal the fact that our hearts are wounded warriors searching for the VA hospital. Trying to hide our heart's afflictions futile, condensing our heart like rutile. 1 part oxygen, 2 parts titanium. 1 part life, 2 parts death.
Was that your first time reading with us?
Yes.
One more time. Thank you for sharing your heart with us. It was so very important to do. We appreciate it. Please keep on coming back. And again, all you new folks, you are now eligible to submit the work that you read this evening to the anthology. So please consider doing that. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, all the things. And stay up to date on when those submissions open and send in your work. And if you're interested in checking out, we have all 7 of our previous issues here available for sale if you want to check those out this evening as well. There's this used to be a janitor's card, now it has books in it, so it's a glow up like you've never seen. We named it Roland because it rolls. We're very clever. So you can come over, check out some books in here. They're all for sale, and it all goes directly back into this community and keeping us going. Please welcome up your next reader, Unique.
Hello, I have 2 pieces today. He warned me, don't fall for a poet, but like a gentleman, he will open doors your mind can only imagine of. Then he will enter your walls, will write on your walls graffiti affirmations that break down your walls. You will be so accustomed to his words scribbling over your story, reaching for reality beyond the metaphors, only to realize you're shackled to his schemes. And the only way out is to break the 4th wall, but you don't want the truth. Because truth be told, you love the way his words mold a fairy tale for you. A ship made of paper, you spend so long trying to read him that you forget his words are founded on something paper thin. The ship was designed to sink. You are simply another muse. He never intended for you to be drafted into his story, so you settle for being a draft stuck in his metaphors. Your love for him will be the simile that he uses to simulate his stories upon. You will be the inspiration behind his masterpiece. He who mastered the art of piecing you apart, making murals out of words, his art will articulate his absence in your life. Your love will make him a one-hit wonder because he took one hit and you wondered why you ever fell in the first place. Why you knew that falling for a poet meant you were willfully assigned to be the antagonist in agony, but did it anyway? He warned you not to fall, so you jumped. At first you dived into his scheme and not enough plot armor could have protected you from this falling action, but plot twist, he never had a resolution. You were never meant to survive the fall. And the second piece is called Outline of a Man I Never Knew. There's an outline to missing man, time stamped in my memory. At some point in the year 2000, a man I never met created me. Him and God alike in that manner, 2 creators that I have yet to meet, but make their absence ever known. I can only scrap together fragments, trying to picture how I was made in his image when I can't even frame him in the back of my mind. But my father was not an omnipotent being, or ever present, but his absence took up so much space, there was no room for me to ruminate on what he was like. Now I'm left with the crime scene, caution tape guarding my memories as I dig through files and photos. The DNA results came out and I learned you were Ethiopian. A witness told me you were a handsome man with an afro, and all other evidence leading to you has been nullified. You're a case I can't crack because there's more cracks in the case than there are clues. I'm bound to becoming another statistic because of you. I wonder what traits I'm bound to because of you. I'm left with your outline, and I can't decipher if you're a deadbeat dad or a man who was beat dead.
Come on.
There's no evidence of a struggle, so forensics assume you just left. And now I'm stuck cleaning up your mess. It's said that blood is thicker than water, and I often refuse to believe it true, but no matter how often I wash off, there's permanent traces of you. Your fingerprints leave strands of evidence in mine, DNA, unable to decipher the victim from assailant. I set the case aside until it grows cold. Because of you, I die daily, so part of me I never knew.
You're just crushing it. If you are also interested in getting more involved in Outline Hospital, as mentioned, we are a nonprofit, which means we do also have membership. For $25 for 1 year membership, you get access to things like a members-only newsletter, members-only workshop events and meetups. There's a Discord. You get a super cool travel mug, which you don't get if you sign up tonight. You have to get it later because Sam's not here, and I'm calling him out on the Facebook Live. You're not here. I don't think he has Facebook anymore. So, but everyone just tell him I found him, okay? And then I looked really tough when I did it, okay? Welcome up your next reader, Jared.
Got too comfortable there. Hi, everybody. Hi. As you know, Kimberly and Speak Easy, thank you guys so much for this space. I appreciate it. I'm going to read 3 pieces tonight, and the first 2 are extremely short. The first one is entitled Vanity at a Later Age. Implied are the rigors of lighting too much overhead. The embarrassment of craters, old makeup trapped or sunken in, mirrors have reneged on their friendship. And there's envy for the opposition, who are often told they're too young to be out of their beds. That was Vanity at a Later Age. The second one is Selecti. I'm a sore on the ceiling, a heavy finger that points down, destined to drip and form children. I'm starving for release, but nature has me bound. My life is complete. That was Selecti. All right, and the last and final poem is entitled To Self-Inflicted Pain That Needs More Than Isopropyl Alcohol. You put a mind and patience in a pale place. They're all numb, snowed in blindness, and they don't want to see you or any pornographic drama you employ by the hour. What about your kids? You're running a cut, ruining their growing up with so much red. It's 6 of them, isn't it? Not one of them can get a thing from their dads. One of them is dead, and they all might as well be. You reach for puke juice at the bottom of the world's garbage can, but never considered at least one worker that helped curl the underside of its lid. Perhaps you're crazy and stuff. You love life all the way rough, and the air you breathe is inhaled callous, but you complain about your coughs. Everybody knows you get what you smoke out of a trap house, and lavish in the trope that you're suffering because each and every insane choice you endorse is now honestly sponsored by your kids. See what you did? See the illusion your quiet uncle tried to explain would fool you when you were swollen with number 1? It's now living. But you told on him, and now his take is less than being broken. Your mode is as powerful as a digital watch's backlight. You're not that bright when it comes, when what's right is on edge to put in a headlock on you more times than anyone can confront another day this way again. Here's an old one. Your maidenhead should have been prohibited. Chop it up, burn it, do something. No more immortal souls from you without some help from their shields. You know, you make one and the other makes 2. Don't bring dumbfoundedness to the surface and mull out a ha or a who, and play with displays filled with faces too stupid. Time is depression because you beat it and flushed it to be wind. The kids, rabbit, you just keep bagging them. Close the store. Your warranty on smashing should be a generation too damn sore. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
Always such a pleasure to have you here. Been too long, you know. You being up here, you being up here too. It feels nice. It's like old times, you know. It's cozy. It's good. All right, welcome up to our next reader, Grace. Thank you. I love it when Kimberly MCs because I don't have to adjust the mic.
I'm here for you. I'm here for all of you.
I've got 3 new poems to read for you guys. Usually I do this thing where I'm like, I don't want to read everything that I've written because what if I then don't write anything for the next month and I don't have anything to read again? But I'm like practicing this thing where I don't doubt myself.
Yeah.
So, this is called Where Do You Find Time to Write Poems These Days? After you have read yours. After sex, when I am nothing but skin and bones and sweat and pleasure. In the shower, the old cliche about best thoughts coming true. On a walk through someone else's neighborhood, watching the leaves sift light like they are searching for treasure. In the car, on a drive just long enough that I know I will forget by the time I arrive, and my voice memos a jumble of phrases, and I wonder, when the government listens in, do they think I'm speaking in code? Have you ever brought a special agent to tears? Putting my son to bed, a dark room filled with the static of a noise machine, his breath slow and matching my own, his small hands tucked into mine like a promise. Thank you. This is called How to Hold a Grudge. You laugh like you've all already read it. You're like, I wrote that one too, I know that one. It will be heavier than you expect. You have to hold it tightly. Lose your concentration for even a moment and it will slip through your fingers. Hold it in a fist. Hold it with your eyebrows furled. Your whole body will need to be part of the holding. Your stomach clenched, your shoulders clenched, your throat clenched, a knot stuck somewhere indiscernible for days. Lose your appetite over it. You have to mean it. You can't drop it. You can't. Once dropped, it is a penny at the feet of a woman heavily pregnant, lost and left on the floor for someone else to pick up, to take on a life of its own, to hang from a tree like Christmas lights and watch the flickering. Thank you. If you like my stuff, I wrote a book and I have copies in my car. So if you tipped your bartender and you've tipped out loud and if you bought all 7 anthologies, then you can buy my book. This is called It's Complicated. There is a word you think you will never say. You thought of yours just now. It is rolling around in your head like a secret, like a password to protect with your life. You keep it hidden in a locked drawer, and then one day, you say it. It slips off your tongue, light and airy, like a feather floating to heaven, a life of its own, and not nearly as bitter as you expected. It goes like this. Rain on parched grass, and wind chimes ring faintly, low clouds that do not rise with the sun. An umbrella opened inside, a broken mirror, your heart inside your ears, your throat, your stomach, your heart everywhere except the place it is supposed to be. That word, it is your body outside of itself. It is a web unraveling tenderly, a spider looking for a new home, her silk trailing behind her, making sure she does does not get lost. She is not lost. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're really good. Bartender, Grace's book.
No.
Keychain, free keychain. That's up here, that's priority. Then, anthology, maybe? Donation bucket. I got a book, that's down here. Anything from Walmart, probably. Going to the goose after this with the way down there. Don't do it, it's a trap. Don't ever do it. Welcome up your next reader, Bailey.
Hi. Long time no see. So last night was pretty much the first time in a while that I felt like myself. So I was out and I woke up and was like, I want to write something.
Yeah.
So here it is. Also, I'd like to add that I use this website called Medium, and you can publish all of your own just writings day of, so it's really fun to use. Okay, this is called Something Real. He asked me, do you not see how beautiful you are? A question I have never dared to ask myself. The moment this entered my mind, I spiraled. Am I? I reply with the best of my thoughts. I am beautiful because of who I am. My appearance is not me. Selfishly. You see, my ego changed me constantly. In limbo with all the difference, all the imperfection, issues I learned from the internet at such a young age. This morning, I'm replaying the question, looking into the mirror, smiling, and feeling hopeless. How could I feel beautiful? What is beauty? Here I come to redefine beauty. One task at hand, truth. The truth is, each time I've created false appearance, I forget who I am. Covered with lies, yet I am still me. I act like me. The best of my knowledge has came about through meditation, sitting soft with nature, breathing with the sun, and again, replaying questions I've never asked myself. Fresh air. Butterflies alive in the flowers, leaves waving their hands, talking to the wind, water drops of rain flow into the streams, capturing the clouds' attention. Animals out to play in the grass, green reflections of love, red reflection of oxygen. Berries juice for the little rabbits hopping too. Alice always wondered, yet she walked in the questions. Maybe the answer is beauty. I say, maybe I'm an alien. He replied to me, you are too cute to be an alien. Thank you.
Lovely work. Lovely product as well. Such good energy up here. Y'all keep that energy going for our next reader, Grant.
Yeah!
It's good to see all of you. To start, I have a short and simple folk ballad. It goes like this. I knew a lass named Josephine. I loved her so, and she did I. Never did I think she'd die. Some cold October came the wind, and she, a sailor, took it home, never again to touch the loam. Wonder I what caught her eye, and drove her far from me, never to return from sea. Oh well, alas, poor Josephine. I lit a light, a tiny light, and kindled close the flame. Such tiny light, so small and bright, against the overwhelming and relentless might of endless, all-consuming night. Such tiny light to burn throughout the length of night and keep the dark at bay. The candle burned with simple zeal, as if there were nothing it could not reveal. And at end of night, when dark gave way to break of day, the shadows seemed so far away. Previously, you heard tell of some song of myself. Not this self, but some other one, sitting on a digital shelf. And now I weep the tears of foregone days, of the sorrow of the slaves, that kept alive the hope of the graves in Arlington, of those that did fight once to dream of future bright, with families to feed, and they that did bleed to strive, reaching towards some aspirational height, not so bleak as the fears of withdrawn blight. Instead, we soar towards some distant might, as if to carry the soul in fight. And so we defy the fading of the light, with the ambitions of soldiers just out of sight. My ancestors, a heavy burden upon their shoulders, their hopes for peace with the armistice of one battle, bleeding into the following, with barely time to apply a poultice, like countless cattle to the slaughtering. Where is the salve of justice, of the righteous, of that fading echo of liberty? From sea to shining sea, and down from the mountain came the blood that was squeezed, and the bell that was rung and cracked. Where might be found that which was promised? The elusive vision, the fading of a gleam. But still, we dare to dream. Why is it that the poets must feel the weight of times such as these so fiercely? In our communities, we organize and talk amongst ourselves. We rage against the dying of the light and against injustice, against the crimes of empire and the news that comes each day. Is it for us, like Orwell, to joust in the Spanish heat? Do we dare, like matadors, to bleed? Ink dries quick but sublimes off the page not read. You know, words, and in between the words that are left unsaid and the words that aren't read. Words are about politics, and politics is about power, and power does not seem to be about justice. The bull is angry, its horns are red, it's galloping down the street, and the crowd is trampled, but so many are still cheering. Maybe it was the lead in the gasoline, the 2-minute hate on the television. Maybe it was designed poorly a couple hundred years ago. We're in the demon-haunted world. Modernity is a product of our own design, and it's all about advertising. We're bought and sold, our thoughts have been determined, but maybe not our thoughts, if we're very lucky. So many of our leaders have led us astray, in law, in religion, on that street in the big city, on the algorithmic optimized internet radio. We're playing SEO games for scraps of value in an age of artificial intelligence and industrial automation and weaponized adversarial propaganda, and the facade is slipping. It's the housing crisis, the cost of living crisis, the climate crisis, the constitutional crisis, the migrant crisis, the energy crisis, the biodiversity crisis, the great compounding, a polyglot cascade, speeding up, going faster now. We're tuned out and distracted, and you can't keep up. Postmodern was a while ago now. We're in the future, and it's shiny and chrome, and poetry is both radical and subversive and deeply necessary. So I'm challenging myself and you to keep thinking, to keep reading and writing, not to allow the indifference of the age to seep deep into your soul, but rather to protect that small point of light at the core of your being, to shield yourself from despair, and to instead cultivate hope and kindness and perseverance, to face the dark and to blaze fiercely against it, and to believe in the very face of that darkness that words might yet still change the world.
Too many crises, but you gotta keep on writing, keep on thinking, keep on sharing, and having good community like this. All right, we got 2 more readers on our open mic. Please welcome up Maya.
Hi. So this is another prose piece that is another excerpt from the thing I read last time.
Her throat tightened, her whole body tensing up. Saliva filled her mouth, coating her heavy, dry tongue. The skin of her collar flushed hot with blood, and her feet, in their patent leather Mary Janes, began to tap against the oak floorboards of the church. A rhythmic squeaking began. Whenever anyone stood or shifted, the church would groan and creak, but this sound continued, steady and constant, alerting her father to her nervousness. He glanced down at his daughter. Her skinny little body looked wrong in the pale pink church dress, its Peter Pan collar embroidered with roses. Her wiry body was clenched tight, skirt tucked between her thighs, and as she shook her feet, her body pressed forward, dipping down at the hips. He grabbed her wrist, gripping it tight till the skin around his fist turned white. Helen froze, her foot pressed flat against the floor, body leaning away from the back of the pew. Her eyes darted to his hand and then up. Their eyes met for a moment before he turned his head as he always did, and looked at the man upon the pulpit. He was tall and slender. His long body swayed slightly as it stood at its hallowed spot. Helen had thought he would not look out of place beneath the willow behind the school, its delicate branches swaying even the slightest breath of wind. His hair was high and wild, thick waves that stuck out in every direction, nearly the same color as his tawny skin. She wanted to show him that tree, tell him about the rabbit she'd found beneath it, its abdomen and legs sliced open, ribs split and splayed to expose organs now covered in flies, and the wriggling white bodies of their larvae. Helen had returned to the willow tree day after day, watching the rabbit as it decayed, the pink tissue of its innards liquefying into a blackened slurry, skin and fur, the face slipping off to expose the skull beneath, the bones drying, collapsing in on themselves without the support of muscles and tendons and fat. She would sit beneath the tree, pulling handfuls of grass up and releasing them into the wind until it became too dark to make out the progress of the flesh flies and carrion beetles. When it was finally just a pile of bones, picked clean and white, Helen took them home. She washed them carefully, scrubbing the last bits of filth out of their porous surface, and hung them in the window of her room. She wanted to take the preacher to her room, sit cross-legged on the bed next to him, and watch the strung-up bones sway, listen to them clack together in the wind. Slowly, her father looked back at her, meeting her eyes again. She kept her gaze upon him, eyes wide and unblinking, but her lids fluttered. Her eyes were bright. They had always seemed too bright to Jameson, feverish almost. She did not pull away despite the ache beginning in her wrist. His palm was slick and wet from the sweat welling up between their skin. He could feel drops beginning at the nape of his neck, sliding down his muscular throat to pool in the middle of his back and create a dark, damp spot on his cotton shirt. His forefinger was pressed against the veins of her wrist, and he could feel the thundering rush of blood of her heart racing. In the darkened evening light of the church, her eyes were greener than yellow. The little flakes of gold flickered in them. She had so little of him or her mother on her face. Marie Bird, her mother, had been all soft, long lines, her forehead high and sloping, her neck long and slender, her arms rounded, her waist thin and soft. Her curved legs had seemed endless as he kissed down them. Jameson let go, broke his gaze from her, and felt the steady flow of sweat stop. He turned back to the preacher.
We've got one more reader, but that doesn't mean that your night is completely over. We still got time for you to go get another beverage and take your drive. If that wasn't available up to this point, you can still do it, if you haven't done it yet. Please welcome up your last reader, Lucas Samuel.
Hey y'all, professionally known as Samuel, my friends call me Lucas, and the Madison County Sheriff called me a threat to good, decent Christian society. A couple of years ago, I had a pretty severe writer's block that I didn't break for a while until I met my dear friend, who was our last reader, Maya, over here. So I just want to give her a shout out in this wonderful community that we have here. But this is the last poem I wrote before that hiatus. It's called What Do I Know? What do I know? What do I know? Well, let's see. I know how to cook, I know how to drive, I know how to read, and I know how to write. And that's about it. It's one of those things one of the only things I have any chance of ever getting paid for. What do I know? I know how to write, but I don't remember a time before I could write, but I know I did in a way. In the upstairs of my childhood home, there is a wooden crate that my mom painted young flowers on. Inside that crate sits a lockbox that has been left unlocked. Inside that lockbox is my origin story. What do I know? I know this is the first story I ever wrote. I was 2. My mom helped me write it. Since the concept of holding a pencil was something I hadn't gotten a grasp of yet, we all sat at the dining room table with colored pencils and markers and cardboard paper and safety scissors and bouncing pink erasers, all scattered across the table like they had been arranged by Jackson Pollock. What do I know? I know my mom told me to divide up the page into 4 sections like Dad's comic books. I told her what to draw on each square, where to put the speech bubbles, and what to write in the speech bubbles. What do I know? I know when I scribbled, I called what I called a signature in the bottom right square of that comic. It was the first story I ever wrote. It was a race between the Flash, Superman, and the Martian Manhunter, the Flash one, obviously. But what do I know? I know it's 19 years later, and I hold a pen, and the stuff on the page is the part I struggle to get a grasp on. Right. 21 years old, and what do I know now? What do I know now? I know now I'm not okay. I know now all the innocence of that 2-year-old's comic is gone, replaced by a heavy beast of loneliness, a goblin horde of anxiety, and vicious demons of depression. What do I know now? I know now that I'm the kind of person who has to go through something to get past it, and I have no choice in the matter. Writing is my outlet. What do I know? I know that they say to write what you know. What kind of bullshit is that? Write what I know? You don't want to know what I know. Sorry, back to the poem. I'm sorry, you're telling me these invisible gods of writing and literature and poetry, expecting me to sit down at a desk, pull out my notebook, open up a laptop, grab my special little pen, light my special little candles, pour my overly zealous glass of whiskey and turn on my alternate indie pop punk writing playlist and write about my fucking life? No thanks. What could I even write about in my own life? Write about moving to a new city for college where you don't know a single face, a name, or soul besides the roommate you've only communicated with through text and email messages. I write about being manipulated by the same girl for 2.5 years until she cut you off because she got fucking bored. Write about the best friend. Do you know what it feels like to write about your best friend doing what feels like the same thing 1.5 years later? Write about why you can't seem to understand why the closest people in your life just leave you and sit on a cliff at the end of a void of a relationship. Write about your alcoholic family who spiked your drink at Thanksgiving because they thought you were being too uptight when they kept comparing you to your dad. Write about how you didn't cry at your grandfather's funeral. Write about how until last week you couldn't remember the last time you cried. Write about living alone for the first time. There was a time when you couldn't even leave the grungy eggshell walls of your fucking apartment. Write about almost losing the war, the monsters in your head more than once. Write about finally getting a great job, good roommates, and a set of friends that you actually feel close enough to call family, and a cat, and you think you finally had it figured out, and then you find yourself dug in a 12-foot grave when you were in. Just for it all to come crashing back down lower than you could have even imagined. Write about failing out of school. Write about coming to terms with your own father's racism. Write about watching your own mother work so hard in the pandemic wing that she can't walk when she gets home. Write about coming back from school feeling like a shell of a person. Write about feeling like a pathetic, whiny bitch because you know that so many more people have it so much god-awfully worse than you straight, white, cisgender, Christian, middle-class, moderate, realist, modernist, hipster, wannabe, male asshole. No thanks. I'd rather stick to writing about superheroes and old men who are sad because their wife died because it's easier to write about perfect people and other people's pain than it is to write about my own imperfection and about my own pain. What do I know? I know I have to get it out, write it out, feel it out, spit it out, run it out, work it out, cry it out, think it out, talk it out, do anything just as long as it's out. As long as it's out, don't drop it out. Okay, and this next one's the first thing I wrote after that hiatus. A writer's block I haven't known since I didn't know what words were. There's no mystery cause. I know what solid foundation that's shattered and left behind. Only this writer's block. I kind of expected it to happen when I set the charge as a carefully planned execution of explosive epitaph. leaving not a fragmented and fractured foundation like I had expected, but instead a cloud of ash from the burned boats and bridges. Once I had pushed all my unforeseen consequences out of the way, and the charcoal memory stained my hands, all I found left was this damn writer's block. Ash laden from the fire, traces of where this block had come from burned in every crevice, as if I needed a reminder. A reminder of all the warnings, a reminder of my friend telling me that all of my furniture was not only very flammable, but was also stacked on top of each other in the foyer. A reminder to me of the smell of the smoke, a reminder of how it started off in the distance just as something you would just catch a whiff of in the evenings, and then all at once it overtook me in a rush of torrent wind, and I welcomed all the suffocation. A reminder of how bright the fire was, a reminder of how passionately it all burned as it ripped through every hallway, bedroom, closet, and hidden door that I owned. A reminder of how dark the world was once it was over. A reminder of wandering through the nothingness with outstretched hands and mud smeared across my lips as I searched for something to hold on to. But the only thing I can find is reminders of a version of myself burnt catastrophically crisp cinders and a block. Thank you.
To share space with y'all, and I hope to see you again next month. Third Sunday of every month right here in this room. This community is so powerful and so important to me, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Please have a great evening. Be safe. Love you. Bye. Bye.